Hi, this is Visual Basic Cafe Management System developed in Visual Studio 2015. So let me show you guys how it works. Here I have checkbox. When I click on that checkbox, it enables the text box over there. Okay, so the same thing applies to the cakes. It does enable it. Anyone you click on, it will enable it. Over here I have different types of coffee, and here I have different types of cakes. Here that will total up the drinks, while this total up the cakes, and here's just the service charge. Here we have the tax, subtotal, and total. So let's click a couple more. Alright, so next thing I'll do is to click on total. That's the total. And if you want a receipt, you can always click on receipt. You can print out your receipt if you want, and that's your receipt. I'm not going to print it at this time. Okay, that's the receipt right there. You can choose to save your receipt. So let's just give it a name. We call it QAT. Alright, it's a text box. Save as a text file, and we can always reset. Okay, or maybe open up the saved file right there. That's the saved file. We can exit, and you can do whatever you like with it. So what I would do now is to take you guys straight into Visual Basic development environment, and we'll put one of these together and you guys see how it's done. So let's go into Visual Studio 2015 and get another one started. Okay, now we start a new cafe management system. So I'm just going to call it VB_cafe, maybe system. There, click on OK, and there we go. Now we have the form open. So what I'll do next is come to the size right there and just change it to 1368 by 730. So that is the size. The next thing I'll do is where it says start position, I'm just going to change that to center, and I will also change the back color, change that to black or something dark. So that's fine. The next thing I will do is to get some component on board. Let's go for panel. Yeah, that's fine. Place a panel there. You can't see the color of that panel, so let me come back here and just change the color of that panel to control. Control is the default color, so that is that changed. I will now copy or make about 6 of those. So I think I will need, yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I will now speed up the design of this interface, then we take it from there, guys. Okay guys, this is how the interface is looking right now. Okay, so I would then add as follows. Let's add some buttons here, 4 actually. Okay, now let's get tab control. Alright, then we need checkbox. We're gonna need a couple of those, 1, 2, 8 of those really, and we also need Textbox. Alright, let's select all of those and just copy it across there. Okay, the next thing is let's get a label in place. One label here, so we'll need 4 labels in here. Right, I have all my labels in place. These 2 labels, I will then increase their size. Let's increase the size of those 2 labels to maybe 60. So we'll make that 60 bold. This very label here will be known as, let's delete this one, make this here. So we change this to Cafe Management System. So we'll have Cafe Management System, make that uppercase C right there. So what I'll do now is just to speed up the design of the interface, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, this is how the interface is looking now. Let me just show it to you guys. Right, so if I click on all these buttons, nothing is happening, and nothing happens here as well. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is to maybe double click on the exit button here. Let's take care of that first. That's easy. Alright, let's do that. Let's try again. There, just enter application dot exit. There, that's that done. Okay, now come in here. Let's double click on the form itself and disables as follows actually. So the txt africa dot text, make that 0. So I will repeat exactly the same thing for the rest text box. Okay, I will just speed that up now. There. Okay, I've repeated exactly the same thing for the other text box, and at the same time I disabled all of the text box are disabled. Then the checkbox, I also disabled every single checkbox. Now there's one thing missing there. Let's come in here and our RichTextBox, let's just say clear if there's anything in it, so we just clear that. So that's it, all done. Okay, let me copy all of these lines of codes, copy and come to where it says resets right there and just paste that in there. Okay, so it's exactly the same lines of code, so that's fine. Now I'll go back to the form load because I'm going to be using these two, this label right here and this other label right there. I'll be using those as my date and time. So in here, let's go for LBL date dot text equals date time dot now. Okay, that's the method we're calling, dot to long dates right there. Can you guys see that? Double click on that, so that will give me the date. So if I run the system now, you'll see the date right away. Let's run it so that you see the date right there, guys. That's the date. Okay, the same lines of code, I will use that to generate the time. So let's come in here, a timer, generate my time there. So these are the object that I embedded as well. Okay, these two stripped, the two strip is right here, and open dialog, file, save the dialog, and print document. I have those ones in place. Okay, so this very timer, so what I will do for on the form is double click on the form itself, and right there just enter timer1 dot start there. So copy these lines of code and change that to my timer. Now let's go into the timer right here. Double click on the timer and just paste that in there. Change this to LBL timer, the component that is called LBL timer, and just change this to this method. Let's modify that to time. Get rid of the W there. Okay, that's it right there actually. Okay, that's the method for time. So there. So if I run it now, you get the time there, you get the date here, and all of these components are disabled and these are unchecked. Only if I check it, if I check any of this checkbox, what I want is for the checkbox to enable this text box, and the same thing applies here. So let's come in here and start with that. Okay, come back in here, see right there, double click on that and just enter as follows: if chk ice coffee dot checked right there equals true, then what I want is Textbox ice coffee dot enable equals true. Okay, so anytime I click on that, it will enable the text box. Let me show it to you guys. I click on it, text box enable. Supposing if I uncheck it, I would like it to disable it, so I'm just going to copy this. You can also use else if. Okay, just paste that in there. If it's false, then that becomes false, and this one also becomes false. Okay, so I'm going to be using traditional programming method throughout in this very tutorial, so none of the object oriented. So you can always look forward to the object oriented in other tutorial that I'll be making as time goes on. Okay, so that is that. So if I run it now, check this out. You see that? Undo, check. So if I click on this, I expect this to disappear as well. So let's come in there, select that particular object and go to the property, select event right there, and come to the click event, double click on the click event, and there we go. So I want this to clear on click dot text equals clear, and I also would like it to focus. Okay, so when I run it, what will happen is it will clear whatever is in there, and the focus will be on that particular object. So click on this, click there, it's gone, and you can see the cursor right there. Okay, so the same thing will be repeated for this other component here and these ones right here as well. So for the other one, let me just copy this, copy, and come to the American coffee, paste that in there, and just change the name to American. I think this would be TXT American. That makes life easy typing it out. Okay, American, and this one is CHK American. TXT American. So I've got two sorted. So if I run it again, click, okay, so this one, there's a code in there, there's no code in it. So let's go back into the text box and come to that property or the event, double click on the event, and right there just enter as follows: dot text equals clear, and that's dot set focus. That's it, done. So what I'll do now is just to speed it up and get back to you guys. Okay, I finished the coding, and there they are. Let me just show it to you guys. Let's take it from the top. That's the form load, and that's for the reset. The form load and the reset are the same lines of codes. Now that is for the timer that activates the time, and here that is to disable the text, to enable the text box, and here is a line of code that will disable. If it's not enabled, the text box becomes disabled. Okay, and that's what happened to that text box. The content is cleared and focus is set on that text box. The same thing was repeated for this other checkbox right there. It's the same lines of code. It's all traditional programming methods. Okay, have a good look at it. And then, so I will now run the system. Let's run it, because it's all the same lines of codes. You can just copy and paste once you've implemented one. So click on that, you can see it's all enabled. The text box are now enabled. Okay, if you uncheck any of these text box, what happens is it becomes disabled, and when you click on them, the data in there, it disappears, and you can enter your own data. and then click on total. That's supposed to be what should happen, but right now the total is not working, receipt is not working, reset is the only one that works. So we'll let's take care of this receipt first. Okay, let's double click on the receipt button itself and just take care of that. So we start by saying rt dot clear. Okay, so that is it. Then we also say, let's go for rtf receipt dot append. Dot append means add the following data. Okay, I want it to, let's tab first. Tab, let's add about 3 of those tabs in there. Okay, then the name of the cafe will be just do cafe. Yeah, just do coffee instead of getting drunk. Okay, now come in here, add that, and let's enter a new line. Let's go for environment dot new line. Okay, that will give us a new line. See, that's how you enter data. The next thing is to just enter data and populate the receipt itself. So right there is the rest of the code for the receipt. So let me just show it to you guys. That is it. Okay, from here and take it down. Alright, so if I run it, okay, so let's click on that and enter value in there. Click on the other ones and just enter whatever in there for now. The total button is not working yet because we haven't entered any lines of code in there. Okay, just click on receipt right there. That's the receipt. That's how it's working. So it looks very beautiful. The next thing I want to do now is when I click on this text box, I want to prevent it from accepting characters. So what I'll do is select it all. Now that all the text boxes are selected, go to the event right there. Okay, and let's look for key press right here. So in there, let's give it a name, txt numbers only. That's what I'm going to call it. So what will happen is that should group all of these text box together. Okay, now that the event is ready, right in there we enter as follows: if character dot is digit, right there, double click on that, open a bracket, e dot, that'll be key char equals force. Okay, and character or char dot is control, open e dot key char equals force. Then what we want the system to do is as follows: e dot handle or handled equals true, and message box, let's say please enter valid number. Alright, that's the message that we want the system to display. So let's just enter Visual Basic Information dialog right there. So if we give this a try now, let's run it and see what will happen. There we go. So let's click on any of these and enter whatever character in there. You see that it's not accepting that, but it does accept just numbers. Let's say 88D. No, that's not accepted. So that is fine. It only accepts just numbers. Let's give this a try as well. Yep, the same thing. So that is taking care of this is taking care of end users entering invalid data. So that's cool. So the next thing we want to do now is let's take care of these ones. Let's start with this. Okay, double click on the paste and enter rtf dot paste. There, that's taken care of. Now let's take care of copy. Double click on copy, rtf dot copy. Now dot copy. There, taken care of. Now let's take care of cut as well. Double click on cut, rtf receipt dot cut. That should be cut. There. So all of those ones are the easy ones. They're all taken care of. That's fine. So now let's look at the print. Double click on print. For the print to work, just make sure you guys have imported the following dialog. All of these object must be imported. That's print preview, and the other one is print document. So let's go back into the print. So with the print, I'm going to enter print. That will be print preview dialog. This very one is print preview dialog 1, actually, dot document, this one, okay, equals print document 1, this one. There. So now print preview dialog as well, we want it to show. So copy that, paste that in here, dot show dialog. So that's it, taken care of. Now the next thing is to come back in here. Okay, double click on this print dialog itself, double click on it, and so that we specify the type of font we intend to use. E.graphic, okay, dot draw. That'll be draw string right there. Draw string, and the string I want you to draw is the RT receipt dot text, comma, give me a new font and just enter the font there. Alright, so open another bracket and specify the type of font. Let's say we want maybe area and comma. The size of it, let's make it maybe 14, comma, font. That'll be font style dot, you can select bold or whatever. I'm going to just make it regular. And then what about the brush? Let's come in here, enter a comma there, comma. Let's go for this type of brush. I guess, yeah, brush dots, the color black, you can choose whatever color you want, comma 120 by 120. So that should take care of the print dialog. Okay, so if I run the program, let's just run it now and you guys see what will happen. Okay, so let's just click on receipts. That will display 0. So if I want to cut, I can just select cut and come right underneath here and just paste whatever in there. Where's paste? There. I'm gonna even just copy and just paste it right in there. So paste, you see that works. So let's say we want to print. Click on print. There we go, guys. That's my print dialog responding. There we go, right there. Okay, you see the print dialog, that works. So close that. So the next thing we want to do now, let's exit that. The next thing is to take care of save, open, and I think we've taken care of this. No, we haven't. That is rt dot clear. So that should give us a new page. So here, let's double click on that to take care of the open. So we enter the following lines of codes to take care of the open. Okay, those are the lines of code that will take care of the open. So let's look after, double click on save as well, and there, those are the lines of code for save. So that is taken care of. And the next thing we want to now do is, okay, let's get in for this help. Let's use come in straight into project and select add new, and we need, I'm going to use this very one, so let me just use the dialog. Okay, select that and just click on add. Okay, so now what we do is select this image. I don't need that image, so I'm going to use my own image that I made up. So let's come in here, import. I think I have something on my desktop here. Yeah, there we go. So that's the image I intend to use. Just do coffee instead of getting drunk. So click on that. Now I will now double click on this very one, just write one or two things in there, double click on that, and right there enter as follows. Let's copy this, paste that in there. Dot text equals just do coffee. Just do coffee and learn how to code. Alright, so that's just what I intend to put in there, and learn how to code. Just do coffee and learn how to code. Okay, now the next thing is come back in there. You see this one? Select that, come to the property right there and change the event to a text change. Okay, right, inside the text change, what I want to do is I want that to display the name of the author. The text equals, I think that's okay, that's to do with the author. So author's name is Paul Omen. That's my real name. Okay, come back in here, and where it says copyright, let's come into copyright, take it down, then come straight into where it says text change. Double click on the text change, just copy all of those, paste that in there. That's the name of the object really. The text equals and copyright belongs to DJ Omen. That's the name of my YouTube. Okay, that's it, done. So I've taken care of 1, 2 and 3, and the next thing I want to do now is to go back into the form right here, double click on that question mark and just say about to dot show. There, that's it. So if I run my program now, okay, let's give that a try. Run. Let's click on about. There we go. Alright, we get the copyright, the author name, just do coffee, maybe increase the font of this. As you can see, the total is not working yet, so we will now take care of the total. So let's exit and go back to the design view. Come right down here, that's the total. Double click on total, and right here I will declare the following variables. Say dim tax as double. Let's make that double, and also assign value to the tax. Let's say tax is approximately, say 5.2. That's my tax right there. Now let's declare the following local variable. This is going to be for latte. Okay, and there, so latte, espresso, iced latte, veil, a coffee. That's supposed to be African coffee, American coffee, cappuccino, iced cappuccinos. Okay, those are the variables I intend to use. The other one is, let's declare that off, the cakes. Alright, so let's go for red cake here. So I'm just abbreviating the names of each cake. So that is Black Forest, and this is to do with Boston cake. This one will be Kilburn cake, and this one will be Carlton Vale cake. And let's go for Queen's Park cake. So it's to do with the names of my variables. So that should be 8 as double. Okay. Alright, that's ready as well. This is supposed to, okay, that is ready. I think one of the cakes are missing. That's supposed to be Lagos cake. Right. So the next thing is, let's come in here. This is going to be for my, this is going to be for coffee. So the price of all the coffees, let's start with latte. Let's go for maybe 130, and espresso equals maybe 150, and I'll just speed that up. Okay, and that is that. So now let's assign values to all of these. Let's dim some other variables. So dim latte underscore, that'll be coffee as double. Yeah. And let's say whatever is inside the text box there, dot to double. Let's make that double. Open a bracket, that'll be latte right there, dot text. Okay, whatever is assigned or entered into this text box is then converted into double. Okay, so that's all there is to it there. So the next thing I will do is let's repeat the same thing for espresso. No, that's not the spelling. I think, yeah, espresso as double equals convert dot to double whatever is inside txt espresso dot text, and there we now speed that up. Right, so that of coffee is taken care of. Now let's take care of cakes. Okay, have a good look at it. So let's take care of cakes now. Okay, that will be for cake, and we'll repeat exactly the same thing for cakes there. So those are the lines of codes for cake. You can see is the same format. Okay. Now I'm going to declare some other variables, but before that let me just enter a line there so I don't get confused. Now come in here and just say dim cost underscore of drinks as, and also that's for service underscore charge, comma, also dim cost of cakes, comma, then we want tags as double. Yeah, now all those are taken care of. Then let's come down here and just say drinks. Now everything inside everything inside drinks, we now want to assign it to cost of drinks. So we go by saying latte underscore coffee. There, that's it. Okay, we now multiply that by the variable latte that is up there. The variable latte has the price in there. Okay, now we've got the price of coffee. We're going to add it to that of espresso. Okay, so open a bracket, enter espresso. So that will be espresso right there. Multiply that by X right there, then add, and the next one, let's take care of be ice latte. Multiply by I latte. There. Okay, let me go to the second line so that you guys can see the rest of the code. Let's enter. So we need to actually enter underscore there, that's fine. Yeah, so enter the rest of the code. Those are the rest of the codes. Now all of this added up and assigned to cost of drink. Cost of drink is then assigned to, is then converted to string and then assigned to the label LBL cost of drinks, and that is the label right here. Okay, now if I run that, let's run it and see what will happen. Okay, let's give it a run and see. Let's select all of those, enter whatever amount in there, and just click on total. Right there, you see the cost of drinks. Okay, now let's take care of cost of cakes. Close that and back into our code. Come right down, get the cakes, cost of cake on board, paste that in there, equals C cake. There, C cake, multiply that by C underscore cake. I'm talking of these now. Then we add it up plus, let's go for red velvet. Okay, now multiply that by VL cake. Alright, so I'll just speed that up and get back to you guys. And right there, that is everything assigned to the cost of cake. And here, this is the data inside service charges assigned here. So what I will now do is add up all of this and enter them into tax, subtotal, and total. So let's come in here now. Okay, and just enter those lines of codes. So those are the lines of code for subtotal, tax, and total. Everything is assigned in here. Okay, now let's run this program and see. Click on start, enter some data in there, and come right here, enter whatever. Okay, when we click on total, right there, the cost of drinks, the cost of cakes, tax paid is added to this to get that. See, that's how it's done. So what I just think we should do to finalize this is maybe we should enter some pound sign here to make it, yeah, just to make it look more real. So let's come into, go back, exit first, or let's see. First of all, check out the receipt. That's it there. Okay, reset. This is not reset. Okay, exit. Now come down here, and right there, convert it all to pound sign. There we go, guys. So if I run that now, enter whatever in there. Okay, let's get some here as well. And hit that. There we go, guys. See, that's how it works. The only bit that is now functioning as expected is when I click on the reset. This is now resetting, so let's take care of this. So to take care of the reset, I'm just going to copy all of this, go into the reset button there, double click on that, and maybe just paste that up here, paste and delete all of this. Let's enter. I think the reset does have a default value. Let's check that out. Yeah, it does have a default value of 0, so come in here, just copy that and paste that in there. Copy, paste. Repeat the same thing for this, and finally this one there, and that's the reset sorted. Now run the program. Give it a try one more time. Okay, what kind of drink you want? Lagos coffee or Lagos chocolate and Kilburn chocolate. There, click, total, reset, and that's it, guys. That's how you develop your own cafe management system using Visual Basic 2015. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you all enjoyed, and thank you.